Censorship first began in 1982. The first recorded case of censorship was in 1907 Chicago. It was a wrestling match. The media censorship happened in 1907. Censorship is the public communication, suppression of speech or other information that is based around material that is considered objectionable, sensitive, harmful or inconvenient. Censor is a person who examines films, news. They examine these before they are about to be published. They look for any parts that are considered absent, a threat to security or political unacceptable. Whereas classifier is a person who classifies a report, book or film. The types of censorship are withholding information, which is keeping something back and not sharing it, such as permission, emotion or information. Another type is destroying information. Another type is altering or using selective information. And another type is self-censorship, where this occurs when journalists deliberately manipulate their expression out of their defence or fear. Withholding information is a common form of censorship used by governments throughout history. Bbfc. The Bbfc mission is to protect the public, especially children, from more mature content. A youth film should be suitable for audiences aged 4 years and over. Although it is impossible to predict what might upset any child in particular, it should be set within a positive framework and should offer reassuring counterbalances to any violence, threat or horror. PG, parent guidely. General viewing, but some scenes may be unsuitable for young children. It should not unsettle a child aged around 8 or older. Unaccompanied children of any age may watch, but parents are advised to consider whenever the content may upset younger or more sensitive children. 12A and 12. These films contain material that is generally not suitable for children under 12. No one younger than a 12 may see a 12A in a cinema unless accompanied by an adult. Adults planning to take a child under 12 to view a 12A film should consider whether the film is suitable for that child. No one younger than a 12 may rent or buy a 12-rated video work. Here's an example of a PG film. The Lion King does contain a few scenes that may be classed as violent, but nothing more than a PG rate. '15 age rating. No one younger than a 15 may see a 15 film in the cinema. No one younger may buy a 15 rated video work. Age 15 rating is more mature than a 12 and a 12A, as it may include more drugs, sex, or mature activity. No one younger than an 18 may see an 18 film in cinema. No one younger than an 18 may rent or buy an 18 rated video work. Adults should be free to choose their own entertainment. Exceptions are most likely in the following areas: where the material is in breach of the criminal law or has been created through the commission of a criminal offence, where materialist treatment appear to our own risk harm to the individuals or through their behaviour to society. The R18 category is special and legally restricted classification primarily for explicit works out of consenting sex or strong fetish material involving adults. Films may only be shown to adults in the special licensed cinemas. An R18 video works may not be supplied in the mail order and have to be bought in licensed sex shops. 1930s, 1940s and 1950s reasons why films were banned. Pointed profanity, any licence or suggested nudity, white slavery, sex hygiene, childbirth, anti-war message, sympathy for criminals, drugs and cruelty to children and animals. For example, Land Grand Illusion was banned in 1930 for its anti-war message, and there are some other examples below as well. Here are some of the mind maps we did in class. History of censorship. Censorship has followed free expression of men and women in ancient societies. For example, in China, censorship was considered a legitimate instrument for regulating the moral and political life of the population. The origin of the term censorship can be traced from the office of censor established in Rome, I 443 BC. In Rome, the ancient Greek communities, the ideal good governments including shaping the character of people. Censorship was regarded as an honourable task. In China, the first censorship law was introduced in 300 AD. Free speech implies free expression of thoughts. This was a challenge for the pre-Christian rulers. Christian leaders introduced helpful measures such as the Nicene Creed, promulgated in 325 AD. More books were written and ideas perceived as severe were spread beyond the control of the rulers. Censorship then did become more rigid and the punishment was more severe. Censorship changed over the years. A reason for censorship is to avoid younger audience from watching inappropriate actions for their age. For example, a war news report may be censored because of the private information or the detail of the actions may be inappropriate for certain ages. The government may also hold back certain kinds of information. Censorship has changed because things nowadays are more laid back, as a 12A has mild swearing, whereas years ago a few scary scenes may even mean the film could not be published to an audience. For example, the film £1,000 Reward was banned because it possibly showed a prisoner how to escape from a prison, whereas today there are a lot of films that have prison escapes in. What requests can censors make a film production? Censors can request film that scenes are edited or cut from the film in order for them to approve it. If they include swearing, nudity, excessive violence, for more mature audience, the age rating will be changed. An example for this is the nun orgy in the film The Devils. There was a frequent back and forth between the censors and directors. This was about the scene, what parts to keep and what parts to delete. There's a shot of the nun stroking a candle in a sexual manner. This was meant to be removed, and so was the nun on the body of Christ. However, these scenes remained. Ofcom. Ofcom protects the public from harmful and offensive material. One of these main duties is to protect children from harmless material on TV and radio. There are an office in communities and its government-approved authority. In 2016, the BBC's Panorama broke broadcasting rules by revealing the first name of a teenager who was meant to be anonymous by mistake. Ofcom ruled the 14-year-old was named because the BBC failed to check its review its content. Ofcom said it was a significant error which had been political to undermine a vulnerable young person's care, which could lead to negative consequences for the boy. BBC said, "We accept the regret, and due to extreme time pressures, the programme resulted in 7 members of staff being suspended and 4 being sacked." Watershed. The watershed means the time when TV programmes which may be unsuitable for children can be broadcasted. These are strict rules about what can be shown on TV before the 9 p.m. Twice a year we ask parents and wider general public what they think about standards on TV. 93% understand the watershed and 74% think 9 p.m. is the right time. Since 2003, Ofcom has taken action on more than 300 occasions when broadcasters have scheduled unsuitable content before or immediately after the watershed. My opinion on censorship is that I think it's good because it shows the age rating for a film, so a young child doesn't see any unsuitable content for their mind of age. Because if they see, let's say, a really violent film, like shooting or knife crime, I don't know, something to do with that, they may think that it's okay to do that, and they may grow up kind of in the wrong mindset. That's why you have, obviously, Call of Duty, for example. It's an 18 game because it's a lot of violence, it's shooting with guns, whereas like young children should not be introduced to that so early at an age because they may get in the wrong mindset. That's my opinion of it. Here we have the Harvard referencing.